hit enter button. I'll just drop you the command in the chat. Please go through it. So the next command we have to execute in a client. First command is npm init-y to create package JSON, empty package JSON. Next, you have to create npm install --save socket IO client. Next, install the package called save-dev, which indicates dev dependency, developer dependency. It's one small package called snowpack. So this snowpack, which allow you to run your client application in a server environment. Install it. Let me copy and drop it in a chat. Everyone, make sure these installation get completed. Your application is ready now. Go to Visual Studio Code. I hope you have already created the index HTML. Here just type HTML:5 and hit enter button. It will automatically implement the whole HTML tag. This is a template, boilerplate template. We just type small title here. Welcome to chat client. So we have to link. Use the link tag to link the style sheet. And we have to use a script tag to link our JavaScript. We're going to write the simple container. Say chat box. And write chat inputs, where we're going to display the messages in this chat box. And chat input contain the two inputs. One, you have to implement the input type, input and button. In this input, type text. We're going to write the chat messages. We'll have a send button. So this is our chat room. Just type placeholder. And after this input, you can have a join button. Let me give a button ID, send. Button ID, join. Please make sure that you have created container inside that chat box, class name chat box, one div layout. Inside the another div layout, we'll create a chat input and we'll make a two rows here. The first row which contains a one input box with a send button. Second row contain another input box with a join button. Make sure that you have given the ID, send and join. Maintain the lowercase, don't use upper cases. And we are going to use these two IDs of join and send button. When we click on this button, we're going to read the content of this message, the input box message. And when you click on the join button, we're going to read the content of this room input box. Make sure that you are working only in the client folder. So let us go to package.json of your client folder. Open package.json of client folder. We have a test here, right? So just write the command start, delete the content, update here, snowpack, dev. That's it. It will automatically start your development server of client. And it will execute this index.html inside in port 8080. After you make these changes, click save button. Go to the client command prompt. Use npm start. Can you see now? I hope it's visible to everyone. So automatically it open the index.html file in development localhost path 8080. So let us give a small style sheet. So let me give height of 100 ph, width. I'm just going to apply small background color. To your chat window. Just give two colors. We'll align the item to the center of your screen. We'll call the container class. So width property, sorry, it is VW. Make sure that it is aligned center. And we'll hide the overflow. We'll align in column wise. Inside the container chart box, we'll give a height of 50 VH. We'll give a background color white. The container chat box. It's not applicable. Width 500 pixel. So I hope it's visible now. We'll align this one after another. Just change the flex direction. Inside the container, we have a chart input which contain two rows. We'll just give a gap. 20 pixel of padding. Ten pixel of padding to the each message. You can say 100% width. Even here also 100% width. So you can eliminate the gap. Just give only 20 pixel of gap. Clear? Another display flags. So flux direction, change it to row. Hopefully we already have. Change it to column. So just give small 10 and 12 pixel to the buttons. Cursor pointer. Some background color you can apply. Text color. Remove the border. So that's enough. Can give a font size 1.2 rem. In terms of pixel, 1 rem is equal to 16 pixel. Can just give 1.1. That's more than enough. So make sure that whatever the content we're going to enter here. So when you click on the send button, that content, okay. So here we're going to enter the messages to the message room, and here we can establish the chat rooms. No need to worry. You can just later we can follow the code. Even I'll just drop you the complete code to your mail IDs. You can just observe. First, let us target the message input. We'll target the button. Sorry. That's your message input. We'll target the room input. So let us target the buttons. Send. The join button. So primarily first we're going to write the two listeners to read the data from the button. And we're going to write the message to print the output on your chat box. So we'll write the display message function. The value what you receive. So let us target your this chat box. Here we are going to display the messages. So with the class name we can target. So chat box dot inner text. You can just append all the messages. You can add. What do you do here? So within that div chat box, we'll create another div using document dot create element. So we can call the text content, which is equivalent to the inner HTML. So we are inserting this value into this chat box. Chat box dot append child. So we can call the div. So we'll write the two listeners. One listener which is listening the messages. Add event listener. Click. So we need to execute the callback function here. So we read the message input. Input dot value and send this message to display. We do the small testing. See, if I say hi, can you notice? It will append hi in your div box. And if you say welcome, clear. So our listeners are perfectly working now. The same way, you have to create room listeners. When you click on the join button, we're going to execute the function. Input dot value. So you can even say room ID. Or you can just say join room, join to the respective room, and you can test it. Say for example, we can test the test message, and I'll just give a room name called room 1. This is my room 1. Can you see? We'll get the confirmation message, room 1. And all of you, can you make a note now? So the listeners and application was working fine. So now setup is completed. So can you make can you make a note from the beginning? Please do open index.html and can you just make it? Can you write on the complete code? Just raise your hand once you finish. Yeah, you can lower your hand. I hope all of you finished the the HTML code. Is there anyone still writing this? Shall I copy and drop the whole code? I'll just drop this whole code in your chat. You can copy and please make sure that you can paste it in an index HTML and in a style.css. Please do make sure that I'll drop the content of your style sheet. I pasted it in your chat. Please get it. Just copy and paste it in your CSS folder, CSS file. The same way, make sure that you can copy and paste it, the code of your JavaScript. I hope everyone you can able to access the chat. Hope you got the code. Just thumbs up if you got the code. This is the minimum setup. From here onwards, we're going to work on the chat environment. And all of you make sure that you have made a proper changes in your client folder package JSON. And I hope you are running the server of separately. Server folder, you have to call npm start. Make sure that one command prompt to target the server folder, another command prompt to target your primary folder. Okay. So here I'm going to get a lot of issue. Okay, the warnings, that's not an issue. So make sure that finally you have to just use a command prompt to target your client folder and call npm start. And it will run the server in localhost 8080. Everyone make sure you got this output and your server is working perfectly under localhost 8080. I hope all of you received the code. In a server environment, we'll start our server connectivity just by writing the small 3 lines of code. To connect your socket engine. Here we have to write the IO. Can you just please follow the code? So IO, which is nothing but we are creating the instance of socket server environment. Import the socket IO. And we have to enable this. So we haven't configured any port number for it. So let us run our socket in localhost 3000 server environment. And it will block our front end. To avoid that block, we call as a CORS policy. To avoid that CORS policy, you have to write an object origin. Here you just specify your client URL, which is running under port 8080. So that will avoid the CORS policy and directly it will allow us to run our socket application perfectly. As a first step, we call the server connection. you have to write this in index.js server file. io.on. On is an event listener, and event name you have to use connection to connect your chat engine. So here we are going to write the callback function. So this callback function, which has a parameter socket. So first, initially, I would like to write the console log and display your socket ID. As many number of clients are going to connect, so this socket ID will going to be displayed on your command prompt, the console log. The browser console we can able to see, and we can able to see observe the individual socket IDs. Random socket ID it will create. So based on the number of clients. That's it. So here you can say client socket ID. Server just a listener, always listen the socket ID, the connectivity from the client. I'll copy and I'll drop this code in your chat. Please do update in your index.js file, which is a server file. You have to update this code in your index.js server file. And in our app.js, back to the front end. So we have to call the listener now. See here, we can't use the import button directly. We have to make a small changes in our setting. You have a script.src, right? Right. Type equals module. Please do mention this change. If you write the type equals module inside this app script.js, okay, write the type attribute, write the value as a module. Here it will allow us to call the import option. Say for example, if I'm importing client module, say you can use the import button, sorry, import key IO from socket client. So this line of code will throw you the error because import is not a keyword of JavaScript. So which can be implemented only in either React or Node.js. So if you specify the type as a module, then it will allow you to call the import key without any error. And we have to establish the client connection with socket. Constant socket IO dot just IO, you can just pass your server port number. That is localhost 3000. So we have declared the server port number as localhost 3000. Okay. Can you see here? You'll not get any error. So it will throw you the parse error. Automatically it will get resolved. and you can observe your server is not restarted. If you hit enter button, are you able to see the client ID here? So now we are running the client in only one browser so that we are getting the single client ID. If you run the same application, say for example, I'm going to run it in another tab. The front end in another tab. So now we are running the two different IDs. Can you see your client here? Have you noticed? I hope you can able to see that two different client ID has been generated. If you run one more window, so can you see? We got a three client IDs. So this indicate that your socket connection is successfully established and it is receiving the, so it's a server command prompt. Your server is receiving the client ID successfully. So as you create the each individual socket, okay, the window, and you are running the front end application, so that will create an individual socket ID and will be sent it to the servers. So you have to write these two lines of code and you can save and you can test your server. I'll leave this code in your chat. You have to write this code in your app.js file, which is a client.js. Now we have successfully established the chat communication. And in tomorrow's session, we're going to test the complete functionalities, starting from how to create the individual chat rooms, how to broadcast the messages to the multiple chat clients, how to display how to send the responses and replace from individual chat the clients, and even you can establish the public chat rooms, private chat rooms. And also we're going to have one more very specific, the super specialty engine. Yes, definitely Saksham. The entire video will be provided to you, including all the commands. And this code will be uploaded to the GitHub and we will provide you the GitHub link. To all the participants, you'll get the GitHub link of the same code so that you can directly go there and you can able to see if you are having any modification, you can do the modification in your code. Till here, you can build and keep it ready. So in tomorrow's session, so we're going to we'll implement the socket connectivity, creating the private rooms, public rooms, and create, group chatting, private chat. Saksham, so you have you installed the npm? Sorry, Node.js exe file? Yes. So if you install the Node.js exe file, so one more time, I'll clear you all of you how to run the code starting from the beginning. So let me close the command prompts and I'll open it from the beginning. So you can observe you have the bootcamp folder, client and server. You need to go to the physical location of the folder. All of you. And very simple way, I'll just tell you. You can directly open the server folder. There is an address bar. Select that address bar. You can select manually. Type CMD, hit enter button. Make sure that one command prompt is open, targeting the server. Same, you have to repeat it with the client. Select the address bar, hit enter, type CMD, hit enter button. Now you can able to see you have a two command prompts. So one for server, another for client. I hope it is visible to all of you. So commands are already given in both the package or JSON files. Just your job is to call server first using npm start. And parallelly, you can start the client. Hope it is clear to all of you. We have a shortage of duration, so we couldn't able to give you the maximum time to write the complete code, so that we will provide you the video as well as we'll provide you the coding. Even I left the code in chat also. Hopefully you can update. I hope the setup is complete for all of you and the chat IDs are getting created, the client IDs. It's our chat application which is open in 4 windows, 4 different tabs. So each one will create the individual client ID. It's very simple. So each one will be considered as individual user. Cannot find the module. Snowpack DEV. Solutions node module is not recognized as internal or external command. Okay, I think Viresh, you have made a mistake here. You haven't installed the Snowpack. Execute this command, which I'm going to leave in a chat. First, you can execute this command before writing npm start. You'll get this error only if you are not calling this dev Snowpack. If we install the Snowpack in a client, specifically in the client, make sure that you have called it command in a client side, then execute the npm start. It will resolve it. So it's a time to conclude our session. So we'll continue, stay tuned, we'll continue the session tomorrow. And as I promised, we were going to implement the complete the chat, okay, engine, the chat engine, and we're going to work on more, okay, work more on socket connectivities, web sockets, web RTCs. So that will be a really a good session. So you can even create your individual chat engines, so chat applications. Not only that, it will even support you to create the gaming applications. And as well as I hope you all of you are attended some online to the sessions. Similarly, what we are running right now, like Microsoft Team and some applications like a Zoom. So to create all such applications, so the engineering behind all this application, which is sockets. So we're going to learn depth on these technologies.
Thank you, Ganesh sir. Others, you have anything to say? So, guys, we'll meet no, tomorrow at the same time. Ganesh sir, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So,
Uh,
you can just brief now what will be the topics that will be covered tomorrow?
Tomorrow we are going to cover the topics. So how to establish the socket communications. So by creating the private chat rooms, public chat rooms, and also we're going to establish so the broadcasting of your chat messages. So these are the contents, and also we're going to establish the server side setup, and we'll try to establish the chat API as well as authentication APIs. So this is a complete core of your the chat engines.
Thank
And
you, Ganesh sir.
Saksham, if you are facing any error, you just stay for a moment. You can share your screen. So we'll resolve that error so that you can continue tomorrow. Those who have very major issues, you can stay.
Yeah. If you have any questions, please stay back. And whoever doesn't have any questions can log out and join tomorrow. Right?
Saksham, can you share your screen? You have a share option now.
Ganesh sir, actually, there is no share option. I will turn it on. Okay.
Okay, then fine. You guys will get the private link so that we'll resolve those sessions by before tomorrow.
Fine. Saksham, can you raise your hand?
I think we can give them access, right, Adarsh?
Yeah. I'm giving him the access, sir.
Yeah. Whoever has raised their hand, just give them the access so that they can.
They can discuss. Yeah, sir. Saksham,
Yeah.
you can unmute yourself and you can share the screen.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. Yes, actually. So your screen is visible, but can you just share me your command prompt?
Here lots of errors, sir, and warning.
Okay, so warnings are deprecation errors. That's not an issue. We can resolve it. So if you are facing any major error,
Module not found.
okay, cool. Can you clear the screen? Just execute the CLS command and clear the screen. CLS. Okay. So I left the message in a chat. Can you just show me quickly your setup, your VS Code, the package.json setup? Yes, maximize and show me that. Client side, yes. Thank you. So I'll leave you the command here in a chat. Can you execute that command quickly?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Just copy it and paste it in your CMD, execute it.
In client.
Yes. Snowpack is particularly for client. For server environment, we are using socket IO. So DEV for developer dependency, it will install the developer dependency in your client. Automatically, it will target your index.html and it will run that in localhost 8080 port number. I hope you don't have any errors in your server. I think you are getting some NPM error. It's not allowing you to install the. Fine, then not an issue. It's not allowing you to install the Snowpack. So we have
Yes.
issue with your version of the node. So that's why node is rejecting the Snowpack. Not an issue. Do one thing. Go to your Visual Studio Code. VS Code. Yes. So left side you can able to see the icons. In that fifth one, extensions. Left side. There is an icons. Yes, fifth one, extension. Install the extension live server. Those who are getting the the Snowpack error, install this live server extension. Hit install button.
Already installed.
Fine then. Then go back to your index.html, right click and run it in your index.html in live server. That works. Just run the index.html in live server, say go live. It runs in port 5000, right? 1 second. Yes, copy that URL. Copy that port number. Port number only up to 5500. Yes, go back to the VS Code again. Open the server file. Server index.js. Yes. So there is a port number we have replaced, right? Replace that URL. Inside the origin, you can add this new URL. Just replace it. You have to delete the complete HTTP. Yes, good. Save it. That's it. That's it. It's already running. Open the server command. Server CMD. Check the client ID there. Hit enter button. Okay. Go to browser and right click and inspect. Check whether are you getting any error, CORS error. Usually system will block the port. I think you haven't installed the socket IO client. Okay. So execute the command. Socket IO client you have installed, but I hope you haven't used any save option. Might be. That's the reason it is not been installed. Execute this in a client. And refresh the browser. In client CMD, execute it and refresh the browser after completing this. Yes, just go to browser and refresh it. Okay, just go back to the code index.html. Have you written the module? The type equals module.
Yes.
Okay, save it.
Auto saved is on, sir.
Okay, cool. It's app.js file. Import everything is perfect. So instead of Firefox, can you just run it in any other browser? If you have other browser, can you test it? Okay, can you just go and check the command prompt now? Server command prompt. No need to inspect. Just go and check the server command prompt. You are not receiving any socket ID.
No, sir.
Okay, fine then, not an issue. So tomorrow we'll push the complete code to the real-time server. So I hope you have a GitHub account.
Yes, sir.
Okay, right, fine. So we'll push the code to GitHub and we'll make it live. So from live, you'll not get any such errors.
Okay, sir. Thank
So
you.
you have some, yeah, thank you. Yes, shall we conclude the session?
So guys, I think so everyone enjoyed the session. Still, if you are having any set of doubts, so please ping us in the chat. So the chat will be open for all 3 days in the Teams. So please get into the Teams and you can drop the message there. Okay. Are there any other doubts to be discussed now? All right, great then. Thank you one and all. Thank you so much, Ganesh sir. And I think so, folks. Still, so many things are remaining. So many interesting topics are remaining. So don't miss out tomorrow's session. At the same time, please join at the exact time which is quoted. That is 7 o'clock. So everyone, please do join the session tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Thank you so much. Thank you one and all. Have a great night. Good night. Good night, all. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ganesh sir. Thank you, others. Thank you all.